Talk to us today.
Yep.
And congratulations on the brand new album. I've taken a listen and I absolutely love it. So I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about what you guys set out for goals to achieve with this album.
The plan for this album was right after the Barbarians and Black. We figured that it's slightly too heavy for general public because our style changed a little bit after the first album, as we changed our drummer for Rodrigo, who has been playing thrash metal for like the past 30 years, practically all his life. So the second album became a little bit heavier than we actually expected. So the new album, we tried to make some little bit more like easy listening music for the kind of to expand the audience a bit, because if you only write music for heavy metal fans, the audience is extremely limited in any part of the world. So we try to expand the band a little bit.
Yeah.
Still keep it heavy, but like have some kind of almost pop melodies there in the middle, and try to keep it a little bit slightly more light.
And the first two singles off this album did get radio play, so do you feel like you achieved that goal by the fact that those tracks did end up getting played on the radio?
Oh yes, and even in Brazil we had some songs that we did acoustic versions and put them on the radios that don't play the rock music at all. Yep. So just to test how it goes, and people who never really listen to rock music, even they like the songs. So which proves that the songs are good. People just didn't like rock music, but who knows? After they like the songs, they start checking out more of the band and start liking more of a bit heavier music as well.
Yeah. And because of the success of the last album, did you guys feel any pressure when you went into the studio to work on this album because of the success of the last album?
Yes and no. It's kind of every time you record something, you always you're always a little bit worried that you have to do something better than the other ones, because the last time, because otherwise you're just going downwards, and that's something that you really don't wanna do. But it's not good to talk, good to think too much about that, because otherwise you just get stressed out, and so we did it more easily, because we spent almost 1 year doing the album. We were actually touring already with while we're touring with the Barbarians in Black. We all had all the songs written already, and we have our own home studio here in Sao Paulo, where we practice and record everything. So we get to do things without too much stress. So we don't have any because traditional bands, they book a studio for 1 month.
Yeah.
And you have a date that it must be done by this day. So we didn't have that problem. So that that takes off a lot of the pressure.
Yeah. Some bands say that they can't write when they're on the road. What was that like for you guys writing the tracks for this album while you were touring?
Oh, for us it's kind of natural, because most of the writing that we do, everybody writes at their home. So we have computer, headphones, guitar connected to the computer, and we kind of do the same thing that we do at home, but in tour bus. So it's kind of like a home that's only moving. So
yeah.
when you're in a tour bus, you're all together. So as soon as you record any idea, you can show to everybody else to say opinions and see what they think about it, or if they want to change something, and it kind of makes everything easier.
Yeah. So what kind of things were inspiring you when you sat down to work on this album? Because there's so many great lyrics on this album. What kind of things were inspiring you when you were sitting down to work on it?
Actually, Eduardo, our singer, would be the best to answer it, but he's not obviously here now. But he was always really interested in all kinds of literature and all kinds of stories about wars and conquest in Europe, especially Scandinavian and all kinds of these Viking stories. And he was always inspired by all those. And he always, when he writes lyrics, he tried to get some kind of positive message in the lyrics, to get people believe that they can conquer anything they want in their lives if you just work hard for it. So basically everything he writes is basically about that.
Yeah.
The personal conquest.
Yeah. And how about for you personally? When did you first become interested in Viking history and Scandinavian mythology? When was that something that you took an interest in your life?
Oh, basically, because I was born in Finland, so to me everything was came naturally. So, I kind of always live in the woods, and, my house was far from the big towns, and, I always kind of live the sort of Viking life. Of course, the Viking life doesn't exist these days, but, for me, it was always part of my creation. So, that's how I was born.
Yep.
So it's more for the Brazilian guys after after how they got interested.
Have you had
that's not that usual.
Have you had to educate them at all? Like, have they come to you with questions asking about different things that you've had to educate them on?
Yeah, so some the basic things they learn from the books, but kind of more that they learn from with me is how traditionally people in Scandinavia are. We are kind of different than people from any country that's warm. We are kind of silent and do things ourselves. We try to not bother anybody. We had it's a huge part of the culture is respect to yourself, to your neighbor, to your friends, to your brothers.
Yeah.
Don't mess with anybody if you don't really have to.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about how you guys have been reacting to the lockdown, because your album has come out while everybody is in lockdown. How has that changed how you promote the album, or what have you guys been doing while you've been in lockdown?
Oh, this far we are basically everybody staying at home, because we were planning to do some kind of live internet shows. But we are waiting still a few weeks to things to cool down a little bit, as our Tiago, the other guitar player, he has asthma. Yep. So he's kind of in the risk group, so we have figured that it's better for him to stay at home really and isolate from everybody, and just to make sure that nothing happens. But, we were supposed to start touring this month. We had shows booked here in Brazil and in Guatemala, El Salvador and Costa Rica, but of course that's all cancelled now, or postponed to somewhere in the end of the year, maybe I think somewhere in November, maybe we were supposed to play shows with Sonata Arctica, the other band from Finland, and so they of course put their tour on November. So until we are free to start touring again, which I really hope won't take too long. So we actually spent all this time. We started writing songs for the next album already.
Yeah. I was going to ask that.
To have something to do.
I was going to ask that because I have this theory that in 12 months' time it's going to be so much great music coming out, because all these musicians have been locked away and have had no other things to work on except for music. So you guys are well and truly into the writing process of the next album. What kind of how have you gone about doing that in lockdown? Is it just a lot of sending riffs to each other through computer? How have you gone about doing that?
No, yeah, this part it's more everything through the internet. You record whatever you have ideas, and you send to somebody else who's gonna add something and more, and that's the modern way to do the songs. Which I personally don't like so much. I would prefer to just join the band in the studio, start jamming and see what comes up. I'm old school like that, so to me that's a better way to do it.
So I want to talk.
That's possible now. So
yeah. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the video clip for Viking Soul, because I absolutely fell in love with that video. Tell us a little bit about the concept behind that video and how you guys actually went to California to film it as well.
Oh yeah, that was something we really wanted to do, and of course it would have been kind of cool to do it in Scandinavia, but in Scandinavia we really didn't find any place with a beautiful mountain like that. You could have that in Norway. But for some reason we couldn't make it work. So we figured that California, well, they have beautiful national park, Yosemite National Park, and I've been there once before traveling, and I figured, we gotta go there. That's a really cool place. And so we went there. They had an idea. They hired a film crew from Hollywood, some super mega production, and it was like a big video that we did with all the production and everything, and that was really cool, especially for the rest of the band, because besides me and the singer, the rest of the guys had never been to USA before. So that was the first time traveling and doing something that was really cool for all of them.
Yeah, and with your video clips, how much of the ideas that we see on the screen are the ideas of the band, or do you get filmmakers in and kind of give them free rein to do the video clip for you guys?
We basically the ideas come from Eduardo, the singer, and Rafael, the keyboard player, because he besides playing keyboards, he also produces videos for himself. So he's a kind of a filmmaker doing small things. So he has lots of ideas, and so they basically join together and see what they can come up with. Then they hired a filmmaker production company who tell all the details of how it's what's realistically possible to done, and how much money you're gonna spend if you do this, so if it's worth of doing. And then basically the film company, the producers, they do the planning for whole the video, and then for the final result, they edit one version, sent to us, and then the whole band we sit together in the studio and see it. Oh no, this doesn't look good. We want to change this and this and this, and the final word is always with the band.
Yeah.
So we decide what we want to see in the video.
Yeah. So Timo, looking to the future now, what have you guys got planned once lockdown is over? Are you guys planning to get out on the road and promote this album, or will you still take a little bit of time to see what happens around the world before you start making plans like that?
No, I think the plan is that as soon as we are free, we're gonna start playing.
Yep.
First here in Brazil, and as soon as we get to travel more, we are planning to go to USA and most likely to Europe also. And I'd really love to take the band to Australia.
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Really cool.
I was going to ask that. Is there any chance one day you guys might come to Australia? Because I think, your music is starting to get such a huge following here that you would sell out shows really, really easily.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And we have plans to take the band to Asia, to go to China, maybe Korea and Japan, somewhere either in the end of the year or in the beginning, like January of 2021. So if we get the band to Japan, from there it's not that far to come to Australia also. So that would be something really cool, and I really hope that's going to happen.
Awesome, that would be fantastic. Well, Timo, to finish off, is there anything you would like to say to your Australian fans out there before they go out and grab a copy of the album?
I would say, actually, I would say two things. First, check out the album. Maybe you're gonna like it, and if you like it, tell everybody you know. So let's spread the word, and let's get the band on the road and touring Australia as well. And then the second thing I want to say in general to everybody for the future of heavy metal, the bands that we listen and love now, Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, those guys are getting old. They are 60, 70 years old. In about 10 years, none of them are left touring. So you get to make sure that we have a future. The next Iron Maiden, the next big band is somewhere out there. It might be in some local bar in Australia without any public, nobody go to see them. They'll play like 5 people there, but the big band is somewhere there. So people, if you love heavy metal, lift your ass off the couch and go to a local bar. Support local bands, because the next big band is somewhere out there. And just think how cool it would be that you could say that, like in 10 years, that, oh, this band that plays in the stadium today, I saw them in the bar playing for 5 people. Just think how cool that would be.
Definitely.
The future is out there somewhere. Go out and find it.
Definitely, and that's a big thing that we do on our show too. We love to play some of the newer bands coming through on our show. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today. Again, thank you so much for talking to us, and congratulations on the album.
Thank you so very much, and thanks for listening, and keep supporting us and everybody who's all the coming up bands. And
awesome.